Today's episode of the Watson Weekly Podcast is sponsored by Commerce Tools.
Make sure your brand and your business is ready for the trillion-dollar e-commerce market. Commerce Tools, the global leader in commerce and creator of the powerfully composable Mock architecture, can help you achieve bite-sized wins or upsized achievements faster than ever. Whether you are looking to reduce maintenance costs for legacy systems or put the power of AI to work for you quickly, Commerce Tools is your partner for commerce success. Go to commercetools.com to learn how to get started.
It's March 11th, 2024, and this is the Watson Weekly, your essential e-commerce digest. Today on our show, key learnings on Temu from recent report. Klaviyo launches a professional services offering. Amazon launching mini Whole Foods in New York City. Target reports Q4 earnings. And finally, the Investor Minute, which contains 5 items this week from the world of venture capital, acquisitions, and IPOs. But first, in our shopping cart full of news. Key learnings on Temu from recent report. The company Earnest Analytics has published a report on Temu recently, and I thought I would compile a few takeaways from it. Many of these stats are counterintuitive and buck accepted wisdom. One of them being, rich people actually shop at Temu. Who knew? Temu sales grew 840% between January 2023 and 2024, topping 1,100% during the holiday 2023 season on a year-over-year basis. Temu's sales in the US have already almost completely replaced AliExpress and Wish. Of course, the Super Bowl ads, did not move the needle, at all. After being in business for 12 months, the company's customer lifetime value was higher than Walmart's, but still trails Amazon. In fact, after 6 months, customers become more valuable each month. This leads me to believe that the quality to value ratio is good enough. Temu's customer base trends toward middle to high income despite the price points. These last 2 trends should be worrying for any of the incumbents in the US market. Temu also continues growing upmarket. Temu's sales among customers earning $190,000 a year grew faster than any other segment for the company, and customers earning $55,000 or less grew the slowest. 40% of the company's customers are making above $130,000 per year. All things told, it looks like Temu has been the ultimate trade down these last 2 years, even among income classes most would consider rich. Dollar stores, as a result, have virtually stopped growing, and many think it's from Temu. From last year's to this one, Dollar General went from mid-single-digit growth to flat. One final stat for you. Over 96% of Temu's customers shop also at Walmart and Amazon. That means they're comparing like-for-like Chinese suppliers potentially, and there's a high overlap with dollar stores and Etsy too. To me, this potentially means that Etsy's actually in trouble. Not only has it lost its soul, but it may lose its heart. The fact that these customers could be savvy about supply is worrying potentially for Amazon long-term. To me, that means that Amazon's cost to serve isn't the only thing they should be worried about. Differentiation needs to be a close second. The Earnest Analytics report indicates that it is yet to take significant share from either Amazon or Walmart. Dollar stores, however, are another question. But that both companies do have their eye on Temu. That seems wise to me. Our second story. Klaviyo launches a professional services offering. The world seemed to freak out unnecessarily last week when Klaviyo sent an email to its agency partners that it was starting a professional services arm and that in some cases would not be sending particular customers to agencies. Based on last week's reaction, you would have thought Klaviyo canceled their agency partner program altogether, and they did not. It started out with this Future Commerce, which I like those guys, emergency podcast, and then continued on throughout the day with a huge number of overreactions. Let's start with a few simple truths. Every sufficiently large software company which is going up market needs professional services. Fact. Klaviyo is following Shopify's recent playbook, having done the same thing in the past 2 years. Fact. Klaviyo is signaling that for some large customers, and probably many of them, The product isn't yet ready. Fact. So Klaviyo is now tracking the number of customers which pay it over $50,000 today. In 3 years, what do you think they'll start to do? They'll begin tracking the number of customers over 100K, and then 250K. And then 5 years or more, you'll see it track $1 million customers. This is where Klaviyo is headed. The part I mentioned about the product not being ready is just true. How could it be otherwise? You'd like to target the mid and upper market of enterprise, and you have no professional services offering? As they said in Succession, large clients would then conclude, these are not serious people. No. Klaviyo needs professional services to get fine-grained information on the huge gaps that they know must exist in their platform. Why? So they can improve. So let's unpack the hubbub about the moves. Here's what did not happen. Klaviyo did not abandon its partners. Klaviyo is not targeting SMBs with professional services. Klaviyo did not make a mistake in overcharging for the rates for this new professional services offering. And professional services, even under any definition, does not equate to an agency. And of course, there are a lot of people mentioning, what if? What if Klaviyo went after our business? Just stop. It's kind of a waste of energy, guys. And if you're that concerned, I can only give you one piece of advice. Take a deep breath. Diversify your revenue and then get the hell on with your life. Read the business book, Who Moved My Cheese? An agency is a third party that collects a retainer over a period of time to manage and improve a client's business. I think many people don't know what professional services is even about. What's the definition of professional services from my point of view? It really has 4 purposes. First, make feature improvements and fixes to the product in real time for customers. Second, build and host custom client software in the company's data center when architecture requires that it be built this way. Third, provide high-level strategic and architectural advice based on knowledge only employees have about the product's implementation, particularly in high-volume or complex use cases. Also, in many other software businesses, professional services is the best friend of agencies. Agencies interact regularly with a platform's professional services group because they are the power users of the product. All told, let's get back to winning on behalf of clients and stop worrying about our true partners moving our cheese. They will, of course, that is, our partners moving that cheese a little bit, but you can always adjust later. Our third story. Amazon launching mini Whole Foods in New York City. Bloomberg reported last week that after only closing stores for the past couple of years, Amazon is now back to making investments, and Whole Foods is the brand they have chosen to invest in. The stores will be called Whole Foods Market Daily Shop. Wow, that's a mouthful. And will be the size of an average convenience store, 7,000 to 14,000 square feet, but will be filled with grocery-like assortment. There will be no buffet bars or meat counter, however, but there will be fresh produce and packaged foods. There are plans for 5 stores to open in New York City, with the first one to open on the Upper East Side in the fall. My big question on this is, of course, about logistics. I'm assuming that these are obvious return centers in New York City, but will this also help Amazon with New York City's same-day delivery? I actually find living here that Amazon's same-day in Manhattan is limited even compared to someone like a Target. And our last story. Target reports 2023 full-year earnings. I do have to hand it to Target in one sense. They know who they are, and they're going to execute that playbook. The company does not look for silver bullets. The Target formula is designing better products with sharper pricing and a better stores experience and an improving delivery and loyalty experience. Of course, the current Target situation actually is declining traffic, market share, and thus share of wallet from consumers. They have negative store comps, or negative 4.4% comp sales, and negative 5.4% store-based comp sales, negative digital comp sales, negative 0.7%. However, at the same time, they do have strong profitability, 5.8% operating income margin, which is 56% higher than their low point in Q4 of 2022. Their same-day services is up only 8%. This trend in particular I thought was super worrisome, as this was previously growing much faster. Against this backdrop, Target's formula looks like the turtle, and the market, i.e. Amazon and Walmart, might be the hare. Target might eventually win this race in the long run, but you have to believe a lot of things. And in the meantime, it's really going to suck. Like a lot. Target's answer is essentially new merchandise and an improved loyalty program. We'll see if it's enough. For 2024, Target expects 0 to 2% sales growth, which is about half Walmart's growth. In this economy, I'm sure they'll take it. And in fact, the game plan is kind of similar to Walmart's formula, i.e., grow profits faster than sales. It's just less of both. It's just that Target is growing profits faster than Walmart, but actually growing much slower. That's actually, from my point of view, a formula for Walmart and Amazon actually pulling away at the top of retail, while Target niches down to their own brands. In one sense, Target has become a CPG company that happens to be a retailer. Viewed through that lens, is it only a matter of time before these own brands show up in Walmart and Amazon? Either that's the stupidest idea ever, or actually spinning out Target the CPG holdco is the most brilliant business idea of the next decade. Now a word from our sponsor, Commerce Tools. When a multi-billion-dollar beauty brand's e-commerce platform neared the end of its life, the entire business was at risk, including the ability to serve customers. By switching to Commerce Tools and embracing a more flexible mock architecture, the retailer's vision for connecting in-store and personalized shopping experiences became a reality. The brand can now roll out new features within days, securing its position as a modern brand that uses technology to its advantage. If you're being held hostage by your technology platform and your developers have thrown up their hands, tell them to start a free trial at commercetools.com today. By the way, folks, if you haven't checked out the RMW Commerce YouTube channel lately, you're in for a treat. In the last 6 months, we've launched the Watson Weekend, a weekly video show devoted to e-commerce which interviews and has guests that you won't want to miss. We actually live stream it every Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and LinkedIn. Previous episodes, which are up to 15 of them, are on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and type in RMW Commerce to learn more. And what's more, we'll have a special announcement in the last week regarding this in the podcasting front.
Commerce Tools is thrilled to announce its first ever live event, Elevate, the Global Commerce Summit in Miami Beach, Florida, April 16th to 18th, 2024. This is a one-of-a-kind global meeting place for business leaders and technical professionals across brands, verticals, and regions. By day, you'll engage with a power-packed agenda, including stories from brands like PetSmart, Peloton, Ticketmaster, Ulta Beauty, and Zorro that have adopted a modern approach to commerce, thought leaders debating the future of the industry, and hands-on developer training tracks for both individuals and teams. By night, attend an opening party on the white sands of Miami Beach and an exclusive Havana Nights celebration. Tickets are on sale now at elevate.commercetools.com.
It's that time, friends, for our Investor Minute. We have 5 items on the menu today. First, B2B e-commerce platform Catalog raises $3.3 million in venture funding. Catalog, a French B2B software as a service startup, has raised $3.3 million in venture funding. The company serves SMB businesses and is focused on B2B. Is this something long-term sustainable, and does the world need yet another platform? Second, OpenAI unveils Sora. OpenAI unveiled its latest text-to-video generative model that creates realistic videos. While not publicly available, Sora will decrease the cost of video creation through a single prompt. The results of this have been simply mind-blowing. I just thought I would mention it here if you haven't seen it. Check out Sora. Third, TopSort raises $20 million in Series A funding. TopSort, an API-first advertising startup, has raised $20 million in Series A funding to increase marketplaces' revenues by enabling retail media adoption via an easy plug-and-play integration. Fourth, Amazon aggregator Razor Group acquires Perch and raises Series D funding. Berlin-based marketplace brand acquirer Razor Group has acquired Amazon-based aggregator Perch for an undisclosed amount and raised around $100 million in a Series D funding round. It's safe to say that 2024 is the year of aggregator consolidation, isn't it? And finally, Bridgepoint to acquire Rock Skincare. Private equity fund Bridgepoint has acquired ROC Skincare for an undisclosed sum, continuing its acquisition strategy of dermatology businesses that can leverage its European presence. And today's final word of the week is freak out. As in, the Klaviyo agency completely lost its shit over Klaviyo's email to its agency partners. Look, everyone involved take a deep breath. The overlap between professional services and the agency world is much less than you think. In my prediction, you won't even remember that Klaviyo did this in 3 months' time. That's all for this week. Till next time, Watsonians. Hi, I'm Rick Watson, CEO and founder of RMW Commerce Consulting and host of the Watson Weekly podcast, your essential e-commerce digest. Our production partner for the series is Citizen Race Car. The show is produced by Jose Baez, production manager Gabriela Montequin. To hear new episodes of the show every Monday morning, subscribe now at rmwcommerce.com/WatsonWeekly and wherever you get your podcasts.